Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to start the third chapter, The Most Beautiful Thing by Ella Cannon. This story is about a queen who was very bored and unhappy. There was nothing that could make her happy. But at last, she finds the most beautiful thing in the world that made her happy. So, let us find out what was the thing which made her happy. Okay? I am bored, announced the queen. The queen said, I am bored. I'm feeling very bored. Some music, Your Majesty, asked her advisor. So, who is advisor? Advisor is a person who helps the queen or king to take decisions. Okay, so he gives ideas, good ideas, or he guides the king or queen in taking decisions. So this person wearing purple dress, this person is the advisor of the queen of our story. Okay, so this was the person who asked the queen, this was the advisor who asked that Your Majesty. So Your Majesty means what? This is a way to talk to the kings and queens. When we talk to the queens or kings, we just start by saying Your Majesty. That means it's a way of giving respect to high authority. Okay. Some music, Your Majesty asked her advisor. So her advisor, the person, asked the queen, okay, if you are feeling bored, I'm going to arrange some music for you. The queen gave a slight note. The queen gave a slight note means she just gave a okay kind of okay, call the musicians. So that was the sign expressed by the queen. But when the court musicians started playing the same old song, she sent them away. So, when the advisor called the musicians, all the musicians, court musicians means the musicians of the palace. So, they came and they started playing their music as usual every day, what they play. So the queen immediately after hearing the music, she was very annoyed. She got disturbed and she sent them away. She said, you go away. I don't want to listen to your music. The poor advisor tried everything to please the queen. Here, the word poor advisor. Poor advisor, it doesn't mean that the advisor, the person was very poor. He had no money. Here, the word poor means the advisor was helpless. A helpless advisor. So, the poor advisor, that means the helpless advisor. Why he was helpless? Because he was unable to make the queen happy. The poor advisor tried everything to please the queen. So he tried everything to make the queen happy. Please means to make happy. The court acrobats. Do you know who are the acrobats? I'll show you who are the acrobats. Acrobats are the people who what? Who are very much skilled or trained person showing stunts. Okay, see, these are the acrobats. The advisor called the code acrobats. These are the acrobats. These are the people who comes and shows their talent by showing different stunts, very difficult stunts. Okay, so these are the acrobats who were called to the court and display their talent in front of the queen. Portraits were ordered. Portraits means pictures of people, human being. So portraits were ordered, but she was still bored. So acrobats, there were acrobats who came and displayed very hard stunts in front of her, but she was not interested into it. Then there were portraits, there were some pictures shown to her. She was not happy. Still, she was bored. I am tired of all this, she said, pointing to the room, pointing to the whole court, the place where they sit, the queen and all the ministers. So she said, I am bored of all this. I am really fed up. I need a different sort of beauty. And she said, I want something different. I don't want this. I am just very much disturbed. I am annoyed. She announced, inform everyone that the queen is holding a contest for the most beautiful thing in the world. And then the queen said means she announced that inform everyone that the queen is going to hold a contest. Contest means competition for the most beautiful thing in the world, and the prize shall be the crown. So what is a crown now? There is going to be a competition now, a contest, a very high standard contest where lots of people will be coming and showing their talent, showing their most, try to so bring things along with them and prove that the thing that is with them is the most beautiful thing, by seeing which the queen may become happy. Okay, so and the winner will get the crown of the queen as the reward. So what is a crown look like? This is a queen's crown, which is worn on the head of queen. Okay, so this is the crown of the queen. Everyone gasped, means every person, all ministers, all people who were present on the in the court, they were surprised, they were very shocked to hear the announcement of the queen. The queen's crown was made of pure gold. This crown was made of pure gold, studded with magnificent gems. The magnificent gems means these stones, very precious and very costly gems were there. There was no treasure like it in the whole country, and there was no such property as costly or precious or as beautiful as this crown. So all these people were very much shocked. They were surprised to hear the announcement of the queen that she is going to give her most beautiful thing, that is the crown, to the person who will be able to show her something very beautiful that will make her happy. Means the queen wants to be happy anyhow. She is very much fed up, very much bored with the everyday life of a queen, the luxurious life, the standard of a queen, the good life, the privilege that, or the advantages that she's getting in her life. She's just fed up of all this and she wants something different. Okay, The announcement was made. Soon a long line of people formed. So, after the announcement was made outside the palace in the kingdom to all the people, the message was passed. Then, immediately, many people came for showing things to the queen to make her happy and get the reward. They showed their poetry. Some people came with their poetries, then their painting. Some people came with some pictures, their painting, and even their animals. And even some people came with their pet animal, rabbit, monkey, some bird, parrots. Okay. After several days, the queen was disappointed. So after several days means many days, she saw this competition was going on day after day, day after day, day after day. Every day, many people come with many different things, but she found nothing special. This is hopeless, she muttered. She muttered means she said to herself in a very low voice that this is hopeless. That means I cannot think of anything special because there is nothing. Because all these people, so many people, all these days I have met many people bringing different things to me, but nothing is so beautiful. Not quite hopeless, Your Majesty. Then uh, there was someone who said, not quite hopeless, Your Majesty. The queen sat up. That means the queen was sitting in a lazy mood. Suddenly, by hearing the some person talking to her, that not quite hopeless, she sat straight. She raised herself. Okay, she became active, wondering who had spoken, and she started searching. Who is the person who spoke out? A bearded man stood behind the palace guard. So the person was standing by the door behind the guards. Huh. You can end your chores now, Your Highness. Your Highness is same as Your Majesty. Then that person standing behind the guards, he said that you can stop your competition, or you can stop your chores for or your search for your special thing. The queen raised an eyebrow. Have you brought me the most beautiful thing? She asked the man. Then she asked the man by raising one of her eyebrow. That means making one eyes bigger, look bigger, and she asked, have you bought anything special for me? That means the man laughed. The man started laughing. Not I, nor anyone here. Nor anyone here means that he said that I don't have anything special for you, nor anybody here have anything special that would make you happy. Nobody have that thing with any one of us. I have waited here for 2 days to tell you. So the person said, for from last 2 days I'm waiting here, I'm in the line to tell you that the most beautiful thing cannot be brought to you. The most beautiful thing cannot be brought to you. That means nobody can bring the most beautiful thing to you. You must go for it. You must go and look for it yourself. The queen was astonished. Astonished means she was surprised. She asked, what do you mean? Then she asked the man, what do you mean that you are asking me to go and look for and nobody can bring that thing for me? So what do you mean by all this? But the man was gone. So after saying the thing to the queen that nobody can bring the beautiful thing to you, but the fact is that you have to go yourself and look for it. You have to go and search the most beautiful thing yourself. And after saying that, the man went. Okay. The queen's advisor said, do not bother yourself about what he said, Your Majesty. Then the advisor said, don't worry, queen, don't care what he said. He just said something very rubbish, useless. Don't worry. Don't care for that. Hmm. But the queen had an idea. Send everyone home, pointing to the people still waiting in line. Then the queen had an idea. She got a good idea and she sent everyone home. All the people standing in the line with their things to show the queen, the people who came for the contest. So the queen, she stood up and she said, this is the end. There is no competition. Everyone can go back to their homes. I'm not going to sit here and watch or wait for the most beautiful thing anymore. I must prepare for a trip. Now she want to go for a journey. The advisor was surprised. A trip? Where to? He asked, and the advisor was very much surprised. He was shocked. He said, a trip? Queen? Where to? Where you want to go? The queen smiled and said, elsewhere. Elsewhere means anywhere, somewhere, no name. Okay, she said, I want to go somewhere. I don't know where I want to go. I'll just go. All arrangements were made. The queen was so excited that she wore her best dress and her crown for the journey. So all the arrangements, special arrangement was done, made for the journey, for the trip of the queen. Then the queen was so happy and excited that she's going out in search of the most beautiful thing that she want to see, and so she wore her best dress and she wore the crown for the and got ready for the journey. The crown cheered the crowd cheered as the royal carriage moved. So crowd means a group of people. All the people of the kingdom, all the villagers, everybody came to see the queen going for a trip. So they started shouting. They cheered. Okay, cheered the royal carriage. Carriage means what? Carriage is the cart or the vehicle upon which the queen will be sitting and moving or going for the trip out of the palace gate. So all the people, when they saw the queen going out in her sitting in her carriage, they cheered the queen. The queen was not sure what she was seeking. Seeking means looking for. What she was searching for, she doesn't know. She was not sure and where to find it, and she even don't know where to find it. Okay, but she is gone out. She's going out in a trip to find out the most beautiful thing, and she don't know what is that thing, and she don't know where that thing is present. But as her carriage rounded a hill, she looked back at the palace. But as they reached a hill and they just take a turn by the hill, and she looked back at the palace. Palace means the house or home of the queen. The setting sun sparkled between the white towers. So the queen's home or the house was white painted. Okay, white color towers. And what she saw the setting sun sparkled. That means the setting sun was shining brightly between the white towers of our home. The scene looked like something out of a storybook. Why have I never seen my home this way before? She wondered, and she thought herself that it seems like so beautiful that she saw the setting sun between the two white towers of our palace, and it's like some story, the picture of some storybook. And she thought, why I have never seen my home this way before. I have never thought of looking at my home from outside. It's so beautiful. The queen spent weeks traveling. So she spent many weeks traveling. She saw a beauty everywhere. In the birds flying back to their nest, she saw beauty everywhere. That means she was very happy outside in the open nature. She loved everything what she saw. She saw when she saw some birds flying back to their nest, she found it very beautiful. And in a newly born calf and in a newly born baby cow, that is a newly born calf. She was happy to see that baby also. It was so special, so cute, so beautiful. And she was even happy to see the twinkling stars in the sky. One day when the queen was sailing on a lake, that means she was on a boat and sailing on a lake, she realized that she felt peaceful for the first time in many years. So after many years, for the first time, she felt something very, very much peaceful. That means her heart filled with joy, happiness. Okay. Suddenly she understood, and suddenly she understood that why she felt so much happiness, so much joy, and so much excitement. So a heart full joy, of heart filled with full joy. She now understood what was missing and what she found. With all her might, she broke off a piece of her crown. Means with all her power, all her energy, she broke a small piece of her crown. She tossed means to throw. She threw the piece into the lake and watched it slowly sink. And she threw it into the lake and she watched means she looked at it as it was sinking. Sinking means going down under the water. I am ready to return home, she announced. And the queen said, now I'm ready to return home. So many days she is out and she is traveling. And now she want to go back home. So where she threw the first small piece into a lake. This is the piece of crown she threw into the lake, and she waited and watched until the piece sink under water. As she journeyed back, the queen left a piece of her crown at the root of an old tree. So then another piece she left at the root of an old tree. She placed a piece at the bottom of a green valley. Then she broke another piece of her crown and she left it on the bottom of a green valley. Okay. And then another piece on top of the snow-capped mountain. She dropped a piece in a stream. Even she broke a piece of her crown and she threw it into the stream. Okay. She tied a piece onto the man of a pony. Man means hair, the hair by the neck of a horse, lion, or pony. So this pony is a horse that is smaller in size. It looks like horse but not as bigger as the size of horse, but they look smaller. Okay, so one small piece she broke out of her crown and she tied to the man of a pony. Little by little, the queen's crown got smaller and smaller until nothing was left. And like this, on her way back home, she broke piece by piece and threw here and there, and then she was left with nothing. That means the crown was finished. She had found the most beautiful thing. So, what was the most beautiful thing now? It was the world. So, this is the end. So, in the beginning, we started and we were with a big question that we wanted to know what was the thing which made her happy, or what was the thing that the queen found at the end of the story? And the thing was that she found the most beautiful thing, and that is the world, that is the nature, the earth, mother nature. Okay, so this is the story all about. And the moral of the story is that if you truly love nature, you will find beauty everywhere. Nature always wears the colors of the spirit. So that is the end of the lesson today. You go through the book line by line, read it properly, and then take help of the video. I hope it will be clear to you all. Thank you.